welcome back to a brand new video. In this video I thought we could just spend the day together because I am currently obviously in a deficit, obviously working on a little bit of fat loss whilst obviously, you know, doing my normal day to day, running my business, all of that jazz. And I thought we could just spend the day together just so I can show you kind of how I do things, how I make my life so much easier, and how I do make it quite simple to kind of stick to like my habits and the things and stuff that I set, because I feel like there is so much stuff online about kind of like how to do this and how to do this and how to do this, but a lot of it is quite extreme and I'm not about that life. I'm about kind of like making it work for you. So yeah, this is not going to be like we're going to wake up at 5 a.m. and we're going to go and, you know, do all that. Like if that's what you want to do, then fine. But also, you know, there's many people that are, you know, trying to fit in a full day before they start their work at 9 o'clock and then are kind of burning out by 2 o'clock. I think a lot of people online will be like, oh, this is what I do in the morning and I get up at 4:30 and blah, blah, blah. But like they don't show you when they're absolutely hanging at 3 o'clock. And yeah, I think I just wanted to basically simplify it and show you that you don't have to break your back every single day in order to be productive. A big thing that I do is all my days are literally run the exact same way, like near enough the exact same way every single day. So I will always set my alarm 24/7, wake up, I'll always snooze it once. I just like to have a little snooze. I'll wake up at 7:30, I'll do like either journaling, affirmations, whatever. Sometimes I'll literally just lie there and just enjoy the silence, get up, get ready, and I'll go straight out on a dog walk. So it's always my goal to try and be out by like 8:10. Sometimes it is a little bit later than that, don't get me wrong. Again, another thing with routine is you have to be a little bit flexible because, for example, like this morning when Dave's in the office, he's obviously like getting ready, he needs the bathroom and stuff, so I then have to kind of like wait a little bit. So then that means that generally I maybe go out a little bit later. So currently now we've just got back from a dog walk. It is nearly 9 o'clock and I just need to feed the dogs, make a coffee, and then I'll get stuck into work. But yes, I always find that starting my day with a dog walk it just sets you up right, especially when on a day like today when the sun is shining. It's quite cold actually, but sun is shining, sun is out, skies are blue, and yeah, it just means that I've got some movement in before my day's even started, but also I've just had that time to myself, because I genuinely think the worst thing you can do is like wake up and jump into work. Like that's just not me. So by the time 9 o'clock hits, I've already had an hour and a half to myself to just do what I need to do. And then yeah, I'll come back, make the dogs food, have a coffee, and then start work for roughly like 9 o'clock. That's always what I do. I am playing around a little bit with kind of like how I structure then my time within work. Like I'm trialing a new kind of like schedule at the minute. So again, another thing I do, and this is probably only relevant if you're self-employed with work, but you could also apply it to like workouts and stuff like that, is I will do the same thing on like every day of the week, if that makes sense. So like Mondays are always my check-in days. Tuesday used to always be my kind of within the business work, so that would be like programming, you know, setup, client calls, road mapping, all of that sort of stuff within the business. Wednesday would then be content and stuff. Thursday would be on the business, so like sales, marketing, all that. I am playing around with that a little bit more at the minute, and I'm doing it slightly differently, but I'm not going to bore you with all that because it's not really relevant. But yeah, that is what I'll do every single week. So for example, around that then I'll generally try and keep my workout days the same. So generally I will do a run on a Monday, I'll do gym on a Tuesday, I'll have a rest day on a Wednesday, gym on a Thursday, and run on a Friday. And obviously then if I need to move it around I can do, but that's the rough structure I try to stick to again just take the thinking out of it. I don't really have to then think about it. But yes, I am going to stop blabbing now and make the dogs breakfast and make myself a coffee. Right then, I've got my coffee, I'm at my desk and I'm going to crack on. So the first thing that I always do is obviously messages and emails, so I'll go through, reply to my clients. It's a Wednesday today, so I also kind of like check in with them all, just make sure that they're all doing okay as well. So I'm going to do that. But this is what I use for planning and I absolutely love it. Now what I used to do was obviously just kind of like write lists, and I would use Google Calendar to time block and stuff, and as much as I loved it, I did just find for me it became a little bit like restrictive, like it became a little bit and maybe I just wasn't kind of doing it properly. So what I did actually do was download or buy even the online version of this, and within that you've got weekly planning, yearly planning, monthly planning, all of that. So I still use the weekly planner and the monthly planner and like a load of stuff within that, but I have gone back to paper for my daily one just because I really like pen and paper. I'll be honest, I really like pen and paper. I am gonna have to buy a new one soon. Oh my goodness, I've literally got one day left. Okay, so at least I can show you anyway how it works. So within this, you've basically got obviously your date here, and then you've got your quick ticks here, so that's things that take like less than 5 minutes. You've got your tasks here, so that's 5 to 30 minutes, and then you've got your projects, which is 30 minutes plus. You've also here got a bit about like workouts, you've got notes section here, and then you've got your like daily schedule here. So what I will do is I'll go through my weekly schedule, which again pretty much looks the same every week. Like I actually have a default one that literally fills it all in for me, and then I just add in anything additional I've got that week, and then I'll go through and I'll be like, right, what have I got today? I'll do my quick ticks, my tasks. Generally don't tend to have projects because I'll just break them down into tasks, if that makes sense. So like for example, today I'm launching something next week, so today I've got a lot to do for that, but I've broken it down into tasks. So rather than this project just being like, oh, this, I'm literally breaking it down into little tasks so I can just tick them off, and then I'll go through that then, and then obviously schedule my day. So yeah, that is pretty much what I do, and I love it. It works for me. So yeah, I'm gonna crack on and catch up with you soon. Okay, it is now 11:15 and I am about to have my breakfast. I'm gonna have a little half an hour break because I'm not going to the gym until probably like 1:30, 2 o'clock. So yeah, I'm gonna have a little break now. Yeah, have a little break now, and then obviously crack on with another couple of hours and then go to the gym. But this is also another thing makes my life so much easier, is I do push my breakfast back. I've never been an early breakfast kind of gal, it's just not me. I generally will tend to eat my breakfast about kind of like 10 o'clock, but on days like today where I just haven't been that hungry, I will push it back till 11 o'clock because I literally haven't been hungry, and now I can have my lunch now. I can have my breakfast now, and then obviously that means I'll be fine to go to the gym like without having anything else, and then obviously when I get back I can have my lunch then, probably have my lunch like 3, half 3, maybe even like 4 o'clock, and then I will have to have a snack later because Dave's playing football, so we won't be eating dinner till late. But yeah, I just find for me that means that obviously if I started eating at like 7 o'clock in the morning and I didn't have my dinner till like 8:30 at night, that's a big gap to kind of fit in like 3 meals. I'd probably get absolutely starving, whereas obviously now my eating window is kind of reduced, so I can fit 3 meals in nicely, schedule them out nicely, and yeah, obviously if I was someone who's starving in the morning, like I wouldn't do this, but I'm not starving in the morning, so I can do it, and it just means that, yeah, it just helps me to kind of schedule my spread my meals out a nice amount with not too much in between, so that I don't get like absolutely starving and need loads of snacks and stuff as well. But another thing that you can do is if you are someone who does get really hungry or you have to kind of eat early, is have smaller meals. So have like maybe 4 or 5 even smaller meals rather than like 3 bigger ones, so that you're eating more regularly as well. That can also help with like obviously energy, blood sugars, all of that jazz. And another thing that makes my deficit even easier is meal prep. Like today I've got my breakfast, I've had my breakfast and lunch prepped every day this week. It's now Wednesday, and yes, I think tomorrow I'll have to make meals, but I've made them really easy. So tomorrow morning I've got eggs on toast. Tomorrow for lunch I'm literally just making tuna pasta, and then I've got a chili in the freezer that I made last week for dinner. So yeah, my goal in the week is to just make things as easy as possible, just to make it as like seamless as possible. So yeah, so this is my Biscoff overnight oats. So it's literally oats, chia seeds, protein powder, almond milk. I have got creatine in it as well, and it's got blueberries on top, and then I also made like a little, it's like Biscoff and milk mixed together in the microwave, made like a little sauce and that over the top, and yeah, that is that. So I'm gonna eat this and have a little chill. Right, it is now, oh my god, it's so cold. It's now 10 to 12. I'm just making a coffee and then I'm gonna get back to work. I've got pretty much an hour to smash out, and then I've got a call at 1, and then I'm gonna go to the gym. But yeah, that is my little break done. I feel like it was a nice sort of reset. It is so cold, like the sun is shining and it looks stunning, but it is so cold. I've got to put the heating on, and I'm gonna have to put my heated blanket on, which seems criminal when it is so nice outside, but it is freezing even outside. Like on my walk this morning I underestimated it. I was in a gilet and I was like, ugh. Completely unrelated to it being productive, but yesterday I don't know if I've really spoken about this much on here, about like Rosie's anxiety and stuff, and I'm not going to go into it too much, but basically a couple of years ago Rosie got chased in a field. In the field by us where we used to do like a lot of our walks, she got chased, and basically to get into the field you've got to go through like a green, which is like the back of the houses, and then you go like into the field. And she basically developed this anxiety at all times. She became really hard to walk, like she didn't want to walk anywhere. She was constantly on edge. If you tried to go near this field, she would shake ridiculous amounts. And yeah, it's been a long slog to try and kind of build up her confidence again. And I feel like this last few months has just been the best. And this week in particular, we have had so many like breakthroughs. We went for a walk on Saturday, and she was off the lead, and she actually tried to play with the dog. Like she like went running after him, like tail wagging, trying to play with him. And she also, there was 3 big dogs off their lead, and her a few months ago would have just darted, like she would have just run. She's now not been reactive in terms of like, she's never gone to, she's never been like aggressive or anything like that. She just gets terrified and she runs. But she didn't run. She literally was like tail wagging, like she was sniffing them, and honestly I actually could have cried. And then yesterday I was like, right, let's try and see what she's like in the field. So I'd gone in the morning and she didn't want to go in, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to force her. And then in the evening then I took the tennis ball. So we were like starting to kind of go into the green, and she was just a little bit like, But I was like squeaking the ball, and like she was coming in, and I was giving her treats and stuff. And she went in. She literally walked through the green into the field, and I let her off a lead, and she was running around, and she was just living her best life. And honestly, I could have cried. I actually could have cried. Like, it just made me so emotional, because it's literally been nearly like 2 years since she's done that, especially in that field. She's all right like off lead anywhere else, but fields, especially that field, she's not great in. So yeah, obviously all the kind of like confidence building we've done, all the training, all the, stimulation, enrichment, all of that has made a difference. And now she's a confident little queen. And yeah, I honestly can't even explain how happy it made me. Just seeing her living her best life is the best. And yeah, obviously like seeing Maisie live her best life is, also amazing, but she's always been quite confident. She never really she doesn't really care. Whereas obviously when you see your dog literally going from like shaking, not wanting to leave the house, like constantly on edge, checking where they are all the time, scared of everything, scared of their own shadow, scared of like leaves blowing, knowing that has come from one incident as well, because before that she was so sociable. I remember over the past year, people who I haven't seen in a while have literally been like, oh my god, like what's happened to her? I remember she used to be so confident and lovely and playing, and she became really, really sheltered. So seeing her now kind of start to just grow in confidence again is, it's just literally the best feeling in the world. And I felt like such a proud mama, I nearly cried. But yes, I'm gonna stop yapping and go and crack on with my work. It is now 2 o'clock and I'm just prepping the dog's snuffle balls so I can go to the gym. But yeah, I had a bit of a stressful time, because I had a call at 1 o'clock and all the power went off at 12:30. I literally went upstairs, came back down, and I was like, oh, that's weird, the Wi-Fi's not working. And then went to go and check the box, and it wasn't even on. And then came in the kitchen, microwave was off, oven was off, everything was off. And I was like, oh, this is ideal. I can't miss this call. But yeah, it did come on literally a couple of minutes before the call, but obviously the Wi-Fi didn't connect in time, so I just had to hotspot my phone, but luckily it was all fine. But yes, I am just going to the gym now. It's a little bit later than I'd like. I normally go around 1, but it's fine. I can go and get it done. Yeah, I was hoping to do a run, but for some reason I've like tweaked my quad. I don't really know how I've done it, what I've done, but it just feels like it's pulling a little bit. So yeah, I can't run, so I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to do a run over the next couple of days, but I am going away on Friday for the night, so yeah, might have to maybe push it to the weekend. If not, just rest up and go again next week. But yeah, still getting in obviously my like strength sessions and my steps and things like that. But yeah, I really like a midday, that's not even midday, is it? Middle of the day gym session, because I find it makes me more productive in the morning when I know that I'm like leaving, and it also then kind of, when I get back and I get back into it, then I'm more focused because I've obviously had that break. But yeah, I am just doing the little bits of pate. You can't even see that. Little bits of pate in their snuffle balls so that they are entertained whilst I'm out. I literally do enrichment with them, stuff with them all the time, because Rosie gets really bored, like she needs stimulation, and obviously Maisie's getting older, so it's really good for her as well. But yes, I I don't feel as bad leaving them then, even though I shouldn't. I know I shouldn't feel bad for leaving them, but yeah, I always feel guilty when I leave them. So when I leave them with something to do and something to keep them entertained, I don't feel as bad. But yeah, I'm gonna go to the gym in a second. I've got another full body session to do today, and then yeah, I'll be back to work probably around 3:30, do some steps on my walking pad, and then probably head out around 6 o'clock then for a little evening walk. So yeah, it's all go. But yes, I'm gonna finish this and then head to the gym, so I shall catch up with you when I get back from my lunch. Hello. Hi. Hello. Hello, Maze. Hello, baby. Oh, hello. Hello. Ah. I am back from the gym. It is now 4 o'clock, nearly 4 o'clock. I have just heated up my lunch, so I'm going to eat that now, and I've just put a wash on as well. Something else I find with like work-life balance is if I am working from home, which obviously I do like to try and do some chores, little things like washing during the week, so that I haven't got loads of chores at the weekend. Otherwise my weekend is just taken up with adulting. But yeah, I actually had a really good workout, like really good, which was nice. Yesterday's workout was really good as well, and it's just nice to just actually enjoy it again, because yeah, obviously I've just been in a bit of a funk with my training, but yes, it felt good. It was nice. So I'm just making my lunch. I say making my lunch, I'm literally just putting sauce on the lunch that I prepped yesterday, which is literally chicken, spicy rice and veg. Very, you know, very like gym bro, but it's effective, it works. What I have been doing is having sweet potato, butternut squash and chicken for lunch, and oh my god, it's stunning. So I saw on TikTok someone literally like slice the sweet potato in half, spray a tray with oil, put it face down, spray the top of it with oil, obviously salt and pepper and stuff, and it normally takes like 45 minutes in the oven, but oh my god, the inside goes insanely soft, and then you get like crispy bits in the outside. Unreal. Anyway, yes, I'm gonna eat this. I think I'm gonna sit right here because the sun is beaming in, which is so nice, and then I may even work here for a little bit before I then get my walking pad out. I think I've got like 5k steps left to hit, so probably don't necessarily need to get it out, but I'll get it out anyway. Maybe bash out like 3 or 4k steps on there and then take the dogs out. But yeah, I haven't actually got loads left to do, to be fair, so we're making good time. I had very productive work blocks this morning, got a lot done, so we're doing well. You're on my big, oh my god, I think I just broke my finger. You're on my big tripod, which is why it's a funny angle and it's so close to my face, because I don't want to take it off my tripod, because then I'll have to hold it, and I'm obviously trying to do my steps, which means it'll be like this. But I yeah, basically scrapped the idea of working in the kitchen, because as soon as I decided to do so, the sun went behind the house behind. So I am working away on my walking pad, getting my steps in, and then we're gonna go, Dave's gonna come for a walk with me then at 6. So yeah, that would be nice. So I thought I'll just get my steps in now anyway, and then obviously any additional is a bonus. Yes, I also find as well, and this is a big thing that I have started to do recently, is I try and do a walk after lunch, because I find it helps so much with my digestion, and it stops me getting that like afternoon slump. I think I said about it earlier. Did I say about it, or was it on TikTok? I can't remember. I always get to the afternoon, I come back from the gym and I'm like, oh, just can't be bothered. But I find if I like get on my walking pad and start working, it's so much easier. I can just crack on with it and I can just get on with it. So yes, so that is why I'm currently doing my steps, obviously to get my steps in, but also to aid digestion as well, because I tend to find for some reason lunch is the one that makes me feel the most like sluggish. But yes, obviously I have had my 2 meals so far, and with dinner as well, we've got orzo. I feel like every time I vlog we're having orzo, but we have it literally every Wednesday. But yes, with the orzo as well, that leaves me with about like 200 calories to play with, so I'm definitely gonna have a little snack, probably when we get back from a walk actually, or maybe after dinner, see how I feel. I do like to have a little sweet treat after dinner, so I try and fit that in as much as possible. It's not always possible, like tomorrow my meals pretty much take up my calories, so I haven't really got any spare room, but then there may be other days where I do have room. So yeah, I just try and fit it in as best as I can, but I always prioritise my calories coming from my meals, not my snacks, because I think a lot of people will try and have like minimal calories in each meal to then kind of like have loads of room for snacks, but then obviously if you have minimal calories you then end up starving and then you want more snacks. Whereas snacks for me, it's more of a habit. It's not like an actual, oh my god, I actually need this. It's just more of a habit. But yeah, that's another reason why in every single meal I will prioritise carbs, obviously for energy, fibre for my digestion, protein obviously to keep me nice and satisfied, satiated, but also for obviously muscle mass, muscle maintenance, and then obviously lots of nutrients as well for lots of volume and to get my micronutrients in as well. So yeah, pretty much all my meals look like that, and I tend to just rotate them all, to be honest. Breakfast is usually overnight oats or scrambled egg on toast or bacon on medallions on toast. That's pretty much it. Lunch is normally sweet potato, butternut squash, chicken, or chicken, rice and veg, like you just saw, or sometimes scrambled egg as well. What I have started doing with scrambled egg is having cottage cheese on toast with scrambled egg on top. Extra protein, it's a big hit. Sometimes, like if it's a weekend, I'll have cottage cheese pancakes as well for like either meal. But yes, butternut squash is a really good way to add volume without adding loads of calories. So let me find it actually. That's another hack. If you are in a deficit, you want foods that are really high in volume, but obviously not really like high in calories. So for example, yesterday, yeah, so I had 250 grams of sweet potato, which is 205 calories, but then I had 270 grams of butternut squash, which is 70 calories. So I like to kind of do half and half to obviously just give me lots of like volume and keep me nice and full. And obviously as my calories drop, then I don't have to make any drastic changes. All I then need to do is maybe reduce my sweet potato down a little bit and increase my butternut squash. So the volume is still the same, but obviously the calories are less. Does that make sense? Same with like rice and pasta and stuff. To be honest, it's not something I tend to do, but the easiest way to like reduce something is to just reduce your portion size. So for example, if you are someone who has like, you know, bigger portions, look for what swaps you can make. So for example, you know, could you take out, you know, I don't know, a third of your rice and swap that for veggies? Or, you know, could you take out a third of your pasta and swap that for veggies? Like things like that. So you're still having, you know, lots of volume to keep you full, but without the extra calories. And yeah, so then lunches literally tend to be that. And then dinners tend to be literally on rotation. We'll have, I've been cooking Greek turkey meatballs with potatoes. Also another thing, potatoes are really good for like volume. So like 250 grams of potatoes, it's like 188 calories, I think it is. Yeah, so as I get further into my deficit, I will probably swap things like rice for potatoes because it just gives you higher volume. But that's what I was going to say. Yeah, so we literally have so this week we've had Greek turkey meatballs. We had literally chicken, rice, veg, Pyrenees bowl thing yesterday. Also today we've got chilli tomorrow. I'm not here Friday. So generally we tend to have like the same meals on repeat, but sometimes every now and again I'll swap a meal out. So for example, I was making, I think I showed you in a different vlog, I was making chicken mince kebab sort of thing, like flatbreads. That was something we had loads of. Spaghetti bolognese. Again, like with things like this, what you can literally do is just what I tend to do is just make like a massive batch. So I'll just chuck in like all the meat, like 750 grams, and then just chuck in as many like veg as you can. So like carrots, peppers, spinach, you know, mushrooms, onions, all of those things, and the volume that it creates is huge. And then also you just divide it up. So say for example, if you had 750 grams, let's say you divide it into 6, like, you know, you've got just over 100 grams in each, some good protein, but the volume on that is going to be huge. So obviously I don't tend to have 100 grams, we tend to have like probably like 175, 180 something. But yes, obviously again, that is a little change that you can make. Do you know what I mean? When you're looking at like, if you are in a deficit, it's not necessarily that you have to just make loads of changes, it's just that you have to make those little tweaks. And this is where kind of like planning plays a massive role as well. So every Friday I will sit down, I'll basically go through like my plan of the week. So I always plan my meals the same way. It's literally the same note on my phone. I'll go through it, and if I want to change anything, I'll change anything. It literally looks like this. I'll go through that and be like, oh yeah, maybe I'll change that, literally change the meal on there. And then I'll go through and write my shopping list from that. And then what I'll do after that then is go through and track the entire week. So on Monday, I tracked my entire week, so I know exactly where I'm at. And it just means then that there is little room for error. There really, really is little room for error, because you have everything tracked. You have the stuff coming to your house, literally being delivered to your shop or picked up in your shop, whatever it may be. You can then meal prep it. So like Sunday I was meal prepping, and then it's done. Like I haven't had to think about breakfast or lunch during my working day the whole week, which is such a win, because it just takes so much stress out of my days. But yes, I need to stop blabbing now because it is now 4:45 and I've got a few more emails to write. So I'm literally doing my email in for this month, and then I need to check my something for something else. Yeah, I need to check my sequencing for something else, go through that as well, make any changes to that, and then my to-do list is done for the day, which is exciting. I do love when I finish at like 5:30 because it's such a rarity. But yeah, that is me gonna crack on. It is now 8:20. I have just come out of the shower and I thought we could doing my skincare together. Using my new eye cream. I absolutely love it so far, but I did start off straight away using it twice a week, and I did get like a cut under my eye here, so I'm not sure if it's related. So I've cut it back to once a week, and I'm going to see how I get on with that, because obviously it is retinol, but I do use retinol a lot anyway. So yeah, we shall see. I did see someone on TikTok use it on these bits here, so we'll give it a go. Yes, it's now 8:20. We got back from our dog walk and we literally just kind of like had to sit down. I had a squares bar because I was starving. Yeah, and we just had a sit down and a chill, and Dave's gone to football. I've just showered. So yeah, I get to chill for like 20 minutes and then I'm gonna start making dinner. It's only orzo, so it's really easy. This is just hyaluronic acid even. Part of the reason that we do it on a Wednesday is because we always eat later, so it means I just haven't got to like spend ages cooking and I can just chill. But yeah, normally on a Wednesday I've sat down by now, but I haven't, so that's fine. But yeah, I feel like this has been a very yappy vlog, but like I said, I just wanted to kind of, I suppose, show that you don't have to get up at 5 AM and, like I said, get in a full day before 9 AM and all of those things, like, to be productive. I really don't think you do. Like today, obviously, I got my walk in this morning, I was on my walking pad this afternoon, and I got a walk with the dogs in this evening, so I'm now on like 14,000 steps. My walks with the dogs vary, like sometimes I don't get many steps in because although we can be out for like half an hour, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, they don't necessarily move very fast, like they just have a, like, you know, have a sniff and stuff. So yeah, our walks can change. Like our morning walk, I normally get in around like 3k. Yeah, evening walks then can vary again, but yeah, obviously I got my walking pad in today as well. Well, to be fair, I do my walking pad every day, so yes, that is that. Obviously I did, so I've done all my steps. I also obviously did my workout, had a really good workout, obviously had a really productive day of work, like got some really good work done, got my calls done, and yeah, obviously like ate well as well. And I think preparation is so important. Like obviously I had my breakfast and my lunch prep, so I didn't have to do anything, I didn't have to spend any time or energy doing that, like whereas obviously if you're cooking, that, like, you know, that can take time out of your day. You know, obviously with work, again, because I had everything planned, I didn't have to sit there and be like, oh, what shall I do? And then once it was done, it was done. I didn't pick up my phone and procrastinate because I knew exactly what I was doing. Sometimes if I'm like not sure what I'm doing, or if there's something and I'm like, oh, I don't really want to start that, or like, you know, if I've got like a broader thing written down, I'll then sometimes like pick up my phone and procrastinate. That's why I try and be so specific when I'm planning, so that I know exactly what I'm doing. So yeah, I didn't really like pick up my phone and scroll, and yeah, by 6 o'clock I'd finished work and I was going out on my final walk, having hit my steps, hit my calories, had everything tracked, had everything planned, had everything, you know, done. And that's with getting up at 7:30. So yeah, I suppose it's just showing you a different side, because I feel like the 5 AM club is rife. And don't get me wrong, if you like the 5 AM club, that is amazing, but like for me, it's not, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't want to do it. And when I've done it previously, I've literally been hanging by like 2 o'clock. So, you know. Anyway, time for my night cream. I don't know why my skin's going from red. And we're done. This dog is the definition of chilled. Look how she's laying. Oh baby, we need to give you a little hairbrush in a minute, don't we? Yeah. And then Mimi's got a little bed. I bought this bed from Aldi the other day for the sofa and she loves it. I'm going to finish watching the YouTube video that I started watching earlier, and then I'm going to make some dinner. I'm back where I started this vlog, in the kitchen. I've got all the food out, ready to make dinner, but I'm not going to start it yet because it's 9:15. Dave doesn't finish till 9, so he'll be home at like 10 past, so it obviously doesn't take very long because it's only orzo. So yeah, I just thought I'd prep everything now ready. And if you're wondering why I've now got glasses on, they are my blue light glasses, which I'm gonna be honest, I think are making a difference to my sleep. I think they are. I think. Who knows? I didn't have the best night's sleep last night. You know, when you just feel like you're just tossing and turning all night. That was literally me. But then I don't know if, I don't know, I suppose they don't guarantee perfect sleep today, but I suppose they can still help it. So that's why I've got them on. But yeah, I pretty much thought I'd just wrap up this vlog here, to be fair, because we're not really going to do much else. I'm literally going to cook dinner and then we're going to sit down, watch some TV, catch up on EastEnders with a Pepsi Max. And quite honestly, that is one of my favourite parts of the day. I'm absolutely starving right now. I did have a squares bar when we got back from the walk, but I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry. I have no reason to be. My calories are not super low. They're not ridiculous, anything like that. Like I said before, they are still over 1800. I think I said that in a previous vlog, maybe at the beginning of this vlog, I'm not really sure. Yeah, they are over 1800, so it is what it is. But you just have those days, don't you? I think no matter what you're doing, I think you do have those days. And when you're in a deficit, psychologically, I think you feel more hungry as well. I've always said I can eat, if I ate the amount that I was eating now, but I wasn't in a deficit, I probably would kind of feel satisfied. But it's almost that like knowing you can't have it, which makes you kind of want it more, makes you crave it more, if that makes sense. Yes, I'm just having a hungry day, but it's fine. It's absolutely fine. On these days, you've just got to prioritize volume eating and do what you can do. Like that's literally it, isn't it? That's literally it. Lots of water helps. Lots of water helps. I have been really thirsty today and I'm not sure why, but it is coming up to that time of the month, so that would explain why hunger is a lot higher. And I would say as well, if you are someone who really does struggle with hunger, like big time, at times like this, just go to maintenance. You are much better off going to maintenance for 2, 3, 4, 5 days, even a week or 2 weeks. You're better off going to maintenance for that time and being able to stick to it than trying to stay in a deficit and then ending up overeating, going over your calories, feeling like rubbish and feeling like you're stuck in a cycle. Like, you are much better off having 2 weeks in a deficit and 2 weeks at maintenance than you are trying to force 4 weeks in a deficit that actually means 2 weeks in a deficit and then 2 weeks in a surplus because you've thrown the towel in and given up. Because everyone's bodies are so different. You generally do need more calories when you're on your period. Like, your body does need more energy, so hence why hunger increases. But everyone is different as well. Obviously, you get it at different stages of your cycle. Everyone gets different symptoms and all of those sorts of things. So it's really important that you also know your own body, so you can know when to expect certain things, and then you know kind of like changes that you can make or things that you can put in place to help with that. Yeah, like I said, this video was more so just designed to show you how I kind of structure my days, how I fit everything in, how I get my steps in and my workout in. And obviously I have to preface this by saying, yes, I am obviously very grateful that I work from home, and that does help massively. And if I didn't, obviously I'd have to structure it slightly differently, and not every day looks the same. As much as I know I said at the beginning, like, I try and obviously keep the structure of my days very similar, which I do. I always try and wake up at the same time, take my lunch at the same time, go to gym at the same time, you know, finish work at the same, you know, go to sleep at the same time, wind down at the same time, for example. In between that can look different. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can have calls at different times. I can have different things that take different amounts of time. Today, for example, I obviously managed to have a really productive day and I finished at 6. Other days I can have a productive day and I still don't finish till 7, 7:30. And yeah, every day looks slightly different, but I do try and keep as structured as possible in terms of I try and start work at 9 and I try and finish at 6:30, with obviously a gym session in between. And yes, I find walking on my walking pad helps me no end with steps. Like, I literally do not know what I would do without it. But yeah, biggest thing to take away from this video is make it work for you. Make it work for you and your routine. If you are not a morning person, you don't like getting up at 6 a.m, my camera's about to die, there's no point in you really like continuously forcing yourself to do it if you absolutely hate it. Okay, we're like this because the camera's on charge. But yeah, there's no point in you trying to, you know, do something that you really don't enjoy if it then brings you dread. If you dread waking up in the morning and then you dread that afternoon slump and you dread feeling, you know, shattered at the end of the day, like, there's just no point. As much as, yes, you know, you have goals and you want to get stuff done, you also, it's still your life at the end of the day. Like, your day-to-day is still your life. You don't want to become someone who lives for the weekend just because you're trying to get so much done in the week. And I think whatever goals you're working towards, it's really important that you focus on what you actually want. What do you want out of your days? How do you want to, you know, how do you want to feel? What do you want to do? How do you want to structure your days? Obviously, you know, yes, work is going to dictate a big portion of that, but there are still so many things that you can do outside of that. So yeah, really make it work for you. Look at your life, what you want and how you can do that. And second to that, get organised. I cannot emphasize enough, the biggest reason that people stress and don't do the things that they need to do is because they haven't got organised. And the minute that you leave something to chance, the minute you leave something to relying on motivation or relying on willpower, that is the minute that you basically set yourself up to fail, because you're not going to want to always do things. There's no chance. Like, no one is ever motivated for everything. In fact, I would say that majority of people, even the ones who are in insane shape, are not motivated more than they are motivated. But the difference is that they just show up anyway because they're disciplined, because it becomes part of because it's who they are. You are able to just show up regardless of how you feel when you have it ingrained in your habits and in your routines. So that's why it's really important to make it work for you. Start off small and build up your habits, build up your routines, build up the things that you do so that they do become more natural, and then you are literally creating a life where those things are ingrained in you and you just do it anyway. So it doesn't then, you don't really have to think about it. Like, as much as I can say, oh yeah, the gym feels like a massive chore at the minute, it's not something that I sit there and be like, oh, should I go, should I not, should I go, should I not? I know I have to go, I know I'm going. Sometimes I just don't want to go, but I still go. There is never a thought in my head of, should I not go? It's just not who I am. Really make it work for you. Build habits, build foundations, really start slow and build on things in a way that works for you, because what you have to think of is big changes they're hard, they're overwhelming, they can be really, really difficult, and they're hard to stay consistent with. So then that's kind of knocks your confidence and knocks your trust as soon as one thing doesn't go to plan. Whereas small changes that you can stay consistent with, you are going to be able to stay consistent with them. Even if you can't be perfect, you're going to be able to be consistent. And the more you do it, the easier it's going to become, the more natural it's going to feel. And then you can build on it further and build on it further. So you're getting a result, but you're also building a life where you can maintain that as well, whilst building your confidence and your trust along the way, and building discipline so you don't even need motivation. So yeah, I spoke a lot there, but just know that you can structure your days however you want, obviously within reason, but just make it work for you. If you are looking at making a change, build new habits, build routines, build mindset. Like, think building foundations and then building on them. Getting organised will quite literally change your life. I know that meal prepping can feel boring, and don't get me wrong, do I want to do it every Sunday? No, but the time that it saves me during the week, it is just unreal. I would not be able to get everything done that I get done in a day if I had to cook 3 times a day as well. I just wouldn't do it. Today it probably would have taken me probably at least another half an hour out of my day if I had to cook those meals on top. And half an hour is half an hour that I did productive work with instead, so I got to finish at a decent time and then go out for a nice evening walk and see the sunset. Camera dying is definitely a sign that I need to stop jibber jabbering. So thanks for spending the day with me. I hope that you found it useful, and just take it as your sign that you don't need to be a 5 a.m. girl if you don't want to. You don't need to wake up at the crack of dawn to be productive. You don't need to do anything that you don't want to do, that I feel like is being pushed heavily on social media right now. Of course there's going to be things you don't want to do that you have to do. Of course there is. But I'm saying, if there is something that you really, really don't want to do and there is a lot of resistance to it, then don't do it. Make it work for you instead. And you absolutely can make it work for you. You absolutely can have a productive day whilst getting up at 7:30 and having time to yourself. You absolutely can have time to yourself in the day. You absolutely can get everything done that you need to. You just need to be organised with your time. You need to manage your time. You need to prep ahead of time, and you need to also hold yourself accountable. No kind of picking up your phone and scrolling is only going to waste your own time. Just to quickly add to that as well, the reason that I kind of spoke about the getting up early side of things was because obviously I know that a lot of people talk about 5 a.m. club, 5:30, 6 a.m, all of these things. And yes, for some people they're absolutely amazing, but I feel like it's so heavily pushed at the minute. Like, oh my God, to have a productive day, you have to do this. You have to get up at this time. You have to squeeze in 3 hours before you start your 9 to 5. And I just think it's not for everyone. It's not for me. It's really not for me, but that doesn't mean that you can't be productive. It's the same as, never miss a Monday. You can not work out on a Monday and still have a very productive week of training or whatever you need to do. You don't have to kind of conform to these societal ideas. If they work for you, amazing, but if they don't, that's also absolutely fine. Just to quickly add as well, obviously I said that like we're not going to do much else, and we're not at all, but another big tip if you do want to improve your sleep is make sure you're actually winding down. So it is just about to be 9 o'clock now. I probably won't go on my phone much more now at all. Won't really scroll much more, especially once I sit down with my dinner. That's it, like my scroll time is done. And then we'll generally kind of turn the TV off like 10:30ish, 20 to 11. We'll sort the kitchen out, clean the kitchen, and then obviously we'll go up, get ready for bed. Normally be in bed by 11 o'clock-ish, and then I'll read for like 20 minutes before I go to sleep. So that for me, I'm not having screen time before bed, and I'm also having that time to wind down, which again, it's just more time for myself in the day to relax as well. So 10 out of 10 would recommend. If you are someone who scrolls and then goes to bed, it is going to be impacting your sleep, even if you don't feel like it is. So definitely try and reduce that and just have, replace that with something a little bit more relaxing that's going to help you wind down, help you fall into a deeper sleep, and also just help you have your time to yourself. You don't want to spend all of your time watching what other people are doing with their time. But yeah, thank you for spending the day with me. I always cringe when I say it, but if you haven't already, if you could like and subscribe, it does mean a lot. But I hope you're doing fabulously, and I shall see you in the next video.